Plans rarely go as you've planned them, but it's still super crucial for you to have a plan so that you know where you execute and where you aim. That really increases your chances of success. In this video, I'm going to share with you my strategies that I've developed over the year, from how I plan long-term, my yearly goals, into my monthly goals, and how I break them down into weekly and even daily goals. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to another segment of Wins and Fails, where I'm sharing with you every week how I'm progressing and working on my business. Now, last week I've shared on my Instagram stories a screenshot of me planning my March. We're at the beginning of March right now, so I'm planning my next month, and people were really excited about which are the tools and strategies that I use into planning, and because I had a spreadsheet going on and people were really curious about this. And so in this video, I want to share with you my whole strategy, which actually includes several docs and a few softwares into how I'm actually getting my things done. So let's get started. The first doc that I use is I'm using Coda, which is kind of like a fancy Google Doc, and I'll show you why I like this, because when you have a doc on Coda, it actually allows you to have kind of nested goals. So in this one, which is my 2019 plans, goals, and tracking, is where I'm doing my planning. We're not really going into my goals and plans. I just want to show you how I'm structuring this, and maybe we can discuss what I'm about to do in March. So basically, this is my yearly plan for getting to $1 million. This is super high level. So what I'm trying to do in each quarter and how much revenue I'm planning to generate. And this is the first quarter. So for plan one, first of all, what is my goal? What is my goal? What is my revenue goal? And then how my strategy and how I'm thinking about this. Now I'm using this doc to also get feedback from my coach. So I'm writing here what I think are some notes about my thinking, what is the strategy, and what are the risks that can go wrong in having this not working. And as you can see from the comments here, I'm getting feedbacks from my coach. Then I've planned at the beginning of the year for every month what I'm trying to do in my consultancy business, and WFM stands for Webflow Masterclass, and then on my YouTube, and the total revenue per month. So we have January, February, and then March. And when I review this, so the color stands for at the end of the month, I review, did this actually happen? Did this not happen as I planned, or not happened at all? So this is what the green, yellow, and red stands for. And then actually at the end of the month, I actually write a review, and I write what actually happened and some notes on the months. So as you can see here, for example, I've estimated that I'll make 17K at January, but I ended up making 49K because I did a sale that I did not plan on. And so right now, last week I've summarized February, what happened on February. And actually, according to the plan, which was to make 100K by the end of the first quarter, I think I'm going to suppress this because I've already built 79K by the end of February. So I think I'm pretty good at achieving that specific goal. I think we can even suppress that. And so when I was looking into what I'm trying to do in March, I've actually have 4 major things that I want to do, and I've also prioritized them. We'll go over them in a minute. So after I've kind of reviewed and make the high level plan, I'm going into really planning this and making sure that I can get it done. So this is the second doc that I'm working with. This is a Google spreadsheet. This is actually a template that I originally took from Sam Ovens. If you want to have the spreadsheet, Google Sam Ovens yearly planning. Sam Ovens of consultancy.com. He actually created this spreadsheet, and he explains how he works with it. I took this structure of it because I thought it was very helpful, and then I've modified it a little bit, or made a little addition, which I'll show you in a second. So basically, it starts off with a yearly view, and you mark here what are the major events that are going to happen in this year. Now, I don't plan my business that far along because I don't really know what's going to happen. But what I do want to take into consideration, which I know was a problem from previous years, is that I did not plan for holidays when my kids are off kindergarten and I have to be with them. And so I wanted to see this kind of like from a yearly perspective to make sure that I don't make plans and then now I have to take time off. So basically what you see here is basically the holidays and times where basically the kids are going to be, without kindergarten, and I probably have to take care of them. So this is the use for the yearly view, and I've already marked these down. And then you have here the months. So every month, and these are already months that have passed. And so, for example, right now I was planning for March, and so I wrote here what are my goals for this month, and they are prioritized. So I may not get all of them, but I hope to get them, and I'll try to achieve them in this specific orders. For me specific, the months for March were to set up YouTube ads, then optimize my current funnel for my course, then edit and release Trust the Process, the new documentary that I'm working on, then create some 4x4 campaigns, which is a framework that I have with my coach regarding how to send campaigns to my leads and generate more sales, and then build an e-commerce site with Webflow, and then turn that content into also content for my course. So those are basically the priorities of what I'm trying to do this month, and I've scheduled them here in the calendar just to see that it all fits. So basically this is the high level stuff, and then from here I try to take this into weekly planning. So this is kind of an addition to Sam's document that I've created, and this is kind of like looking at the top of every week, and right now we're at March week 1. I want to make sure that the tasks that I've scheduled here are actually going to fit, and I'm not going to overwork myself. So I know that I'm working on general 30 weeks, like that's productive hours. So for me, I usually have on average 6 productive hours per day. That doesn't mean that I'm only at the office for 6 hours. Obviously I take lunch break and I drink coffee and all of other stuff, but it's 6 hours of actual productive work. And so as I've mentioned in previous videos soon, I'm not trying to plan for exactly 30. I'm trying to plan for around 75% of them, so I have a little bit of buffer time. So if something goes wrong or takes more time than it was supposed to take, I'm not going to be too stressed out. So this is my 75 capacity. I'm trying to make sure that I don't plan for more than 22 hours. So, and then let's take this week, for example. So this is actually my estimate, and then I actually review it. So when it's in blue, it's actually estimated, and then I review it at the end of the week to make sure how I really worked, how many hours I actually worked. So in this hours, for example, you can see that every task that I have here, how many hours I estimate that it's going to take me. And then as you can see, it summed up for 24 hours and a half. So a little bit more, but it's still lower than 30 hours. Last week, you can actually see that I've actually worked 34 hours. So I think that this weekly plan is actually solid. I'm not going to overbook myself too much. And then from these tasks that I have written down here, I take them into my calendar and I plan them into my calendar. And this is how I work. So now we're at the beginning of the week, and have most of my week already planned out. The coloring that I use here is basically reds are just tasks that I have with other people. So I'm just marking it very visibly so it'll be easy for me to not miss it out, that I have to be available either for an online call or for a physical meeting. And the rest of it is booked for tasks for myself. I have a little bit of free time here. This week I'm trying to finish early to spend some time with my kid afternoon. And so basically this is the plan now that I have for my week. And from this, you can visibly see what I have to do today. So I usually use, for the daily tasks, I actually use the notebook. So I just get up in the morning, I see the task from my calendar. I'm trying to assess if there's anything else that I should be doing or prioritize them differently. Then I write down the tasks in my notebook, just because I don't have this open all the time. And my sketchbook, I have it in front of me all the time, always on. I don't have to switch between apps to see it. So it's really easy to just look at it and mark it as checked when it's done. So basically, this is the framework that I have for planning and structuring and setting up my goals. So last week I did this at the end of the week. It actually took me I think 2.5 hours to do this, because I had to review the previous months, then make plans for a month, and then plan the week based on that month. Usually if it will be just planning next week, it might be just like an hour of planning at the end of the week, but this time it was kind of like end of the month and end of the week. And so there's if you've seen my previous episode from last week where I talked with my coach Rob, we have what we called review cycles. And so at the end of every day, I review what I did at the same day. At the end of the week, I review what I did at the week. And at the end of the month, I review what I did at the month. And that way I have a little bit of perspective about things are going according to the plan. If things are not going to according to the plan, I have the time and to reflect on that and think, how can we change this in order for us to reach the goals? So I'm pretty excited for March. I want to hit it and achieve a lot of stuff, especially because the last 2 months were better than I've expected. And so this month's allowed me to kind of crash my quarterly goals and surpass 100K for the first month of the year. Hopefully that'll set up the tone to also be successful in, the other quarters of the year. Hope this was helpful for you. I'll see you in the next video.